Hi there, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Good. Yourself?
Good. So just wanted to hear what you had to say about doing up the survey on wiringyourmind.com and what your experience was and what you got from the survey results.
Okay. I thought it was very interesting. This kind of stuff is just interesting to me in general. I think it's always nice to kind of take a look at yourself and find areas that you can improve. What I thought was really cool is that it's, at first glance, it's very simple stuff, the results of the questionnaire. The report I received was very simple, but I actually ended up reading over it probably 4 or 5 times because the more I read it, the more complex I realized these little chunks of information, how relevant and how important it was to me. So cool. That's what's really neat to me is the simplicity of it, yet how monstrous this stuff can really be to your life.
Well, that's fascinating. It's actually truly thrilling to hear you say that. That's exactly how it was designed to be. Well, you now know, but most people out there don't know that what myself and my partner, Melissa, do is we do profiling. So we listen to language patterns, tell people all about themselves, and we took our knowledge base and put that into a written profile, a quiz that people take, a bunch of different questions, and how your style of answers operate determines the results in the basically a profiled out wealth index number. In other words, how you're progressing in terms of your wealth. Mm-hmm. And with the 3-page report. And the report is like that. It's simple, but it's also designed for barriers, blocks, and beliefs. How did that come up for you with your barriers and blocks and beliefs? Did you find some that read true for you?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, about the 3rd time I read through it, I realized, okay, I need to get a highlighter out. And the 3 pages is about, it's probably 75% all highlighted. Like, that's how accurate this is.
Oh, my God. Holy crap.
The things that I really got out of it is that it pointed things out that were, when I read it, was very obvious that, yes, this is me. But I didn't realize it before. But when it was like, it was almost like somebody else telling me about myself, it was very obvious. And the other part was that it pointed out things that I already knew about myself, but didn't realize they were things that were actually holding me back and that they were barriers. So it's almost like now the awareness is there that there's change is needed.
Yeah. So do you have a sense of possible direction for this so that you know where to look now?
Yeah, in fact, what's also neat is that this is stuff that, at least what I found, is that it can be implemented like now, right? It's not something that I got to work on the rest of my life. An example, I guess, would be there's a part in there that mentioned that I'm very self-critical, and there's a little bit of self-doubt in myself. And one thing I've noticed is that I often am afraid to make the wrong decision, whereas I guess some more background is that I have a lot of opportunities in different directions I could go in terms of building businesses, and there's a part of me that's always second-guessing myself, is this the right direction I should be going? So the survey allowed me to realize that I'm making those, I don't know if they're mistakes or just that thinking is going on, and I need to not doubt myself and just go forward, right?
Exactly. I mean, running those tests, and that's one of the things that the survey is great, because the skills that you go beyond when you purchase and go into wiring your mind for wealth, literally has sections, quite a few sections on evaluation versus judgment, which is one of the mind models that you're talking about there. Because if you're judging yourself, you're definitely not evaluating, and that is the piece that holds you stuck. And then you take a look at it and make opinions about yourself and about your circumstances rather than getting external verification and testing it. And, that's one of the other gaps. Yeah. No, this is huge. That's great to hear that it's as effective. It was effective as I was hoping it would be for people, and for you in particular. I'm thrilled for you. So that's excellent.
It was impressive to me that it just a short questionnaire. I don't know if it was 15 or 20 questions. It took like a minute to do. So it's really interesting that all this information is can be gathered just from that quick questionnaire.
Yeah, and those were the questions that we've noted, like myself and my partner have noted over the years of researching and profiling people, what makes the difference, and whether or not people are married or single makes a difference in their mentality, where they are financially in their life, on and on and on. There's all kinds of different things that are there, but like you said, it's just really basic, simple questions, but they have a rather profound impact on identifying how you answer those questions, identifies your barriers, blocks, and beliefs, and helps you leverage yourself much more quickly. So my question here is to you, how long do you think it would have taken you to come to a conscious realization where you can actually start working at actively changing those without the questionnaire?
Honestly, probably never. I just would have kept doing the same thing. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, that's funny because that's thrilling for me as the designer and builder of the questionnaire, of the survey, because that's one of the things that we found is that most of the time, most people don't have a clue about what they don't know they don't know.
Right.
They've got a subtle feeling in the background that something is holding them back, but they don't know how to name and label it. And that's another mind model that we teach people is literally how to name and label things, how to identify these barriers, blocks, and beliefs within themselves. So even if we don't cover the exact one that you have, we show you how to find it and how to name it, label it, and get over it, because we teach you these fundamental processes in the training so that it's transferable. So that's a key part of us that sort of differentiates us from everybody else out there. I always like to know, it's sort of like the Wizard of Oz. I want to see what's behind the curtain, and I like learning the stuff behind the curtain, because then you're actually in control of your own life rather than somebody else just giving you pieces to do that. Do you feel like you have just the start of more control of your life, or what? Can you talk to that at all?
Yeah, definitely. Another example I was going to give that relates to that specifically is one of the points in my report was that I'm really focused on achieving goals, and it says that I monitor myself closely to make sure I'm working towards my goal, and then I become super focused on getting that stuff done. Right. So what I took away from that is I'm really focused on getting what needs to get done today done, and I get so wrapped up in the to-do list that I'm not allowing myself to see the big picture and the vision. And I need to have trust, I guess, in myself to be able to hand off more tasks to other people so I can leverage my more time and focus more on my strengths.
Absolutely. I mean, it's we didn't have, Melissa and I, when we were building the survey, you speak to a very powerful point, and the point being this is that the most ultimately successful people in business, I'm just going to use Steve Jobs because everybody knows who he is. And we've met not a lot, but a handful of super, super successful people. And they tend to have the same way of building out processes and business opportunities. They both see detail and big picture simultaneously. So they're both strategic and tactical. And what your answer says is although you can be strategic, your skill sets lean toward the tactical, which means it caps you out at a certain area. And that's really one of the things that we also start getting into, not really super deep in the survey at all, but it is a piece that we start working on in Wiring Your Mind for Wealth. And that's the piece that, again, makes us different. Most people out there don't know that it's critical that people, to become very successful, need both.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great. This, again, like stuff you can implement immediately. Like in that example, I know that, okay, I need to think more strategically, but I've also started working with a partner now who I believe is more of a strategic person, so that we kind of complement each other better. He's also
awesome.
Way more into the like hiring and passing tasks off and creating systems than I am. So I can learn from that, and also we can complement each other.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yes. Well done. Good job. And you've already immediately identified that as a add-on benefit. Yeah.
I thought that was my strength, right? I didn't realize that is what was a barrier or something that was holding me back, actually. So I realize that piece of it, which is the important part, really. Yeah.
Man, I'm thrilled for you with wiring your mind and the lessons coming up for you, simply because basically what it shows you here is everything that's your strength at some point becomes a barrier or a block for you. Because and it's your belief that you're really good at it. You are, but to what degree and what level? And every time you run into really mastering it at one level, you've placed a block on doing something else with your brain. So, I mean, it's the more that you can learn to switch gears and flip back and forth between them, that's where the report, the W.I.N report, really leverages people, because it shows you, okay, I'm here right now, and over time we want people to go back and retake the report so that we anticipate, and we've seen it with a few of our test subjects, but, going out there and not having you as a test subject, just you as a person who was interested in the report, I encourage you to go back and take it a few more times, simply because your number should change over time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. As you go, your number should change.
Right.
So,
and there'll be
that's really, it is. And you can actually use it as an indicator, because sometimes your number will go down because your headspace is shifted, and your beliefs and everything that's there sort of is getting in the way, and it gives you the ability to get a new profile and figure out, oh, geez, it sort of slid back in this area, but this area is actually a bit better than it used to be. So the report becomes the most vital tool. The number isn't isn't that important, relatively speaking, but the report, that's the real benefit here.
Yeah.
So, because it is in depth. So, yeah. Any other final comments here, Ryan?
The other big one that I pulled out was that there's this belief that I will do something, I will do X when Y happens. So I feel like there's a need to achieve a goal first before I allow myself to kind of move forward. Right. Yes. And that's a big one, and that's something actually my wife has pointed out to me for a long time. And so it's almost comforting to hear it from someone else or in this report to validate it. Right. But I guess I didn't realize again that it was such a barrier. Cool. Very cool. You know what? These things can be challenging, and again, the mind models that we have in Wiring Your Mind for Wealth will definitely help you overcome that and get you moving through and beyond where you are. So, I mean, it's thrilling to hear the results that you've gotten here. I mean, just totally great, Ryan. Super appreciate this opportunity to chat with you around this, because it's confirming all of our testing that we did and verification, not on subjects but on an individual, and to see what you got firsthand and hear it, that's the experiences that we've been looking for. Now, I've had quite a few other people take it and test it, and the neat part about it is we're getting very similar type of comments. So I thank you for stepping up and letting me record this interview with you. So regarding this, I really appreciate your time on this. The one recommendation I'd have for the listeners on this call would be, before taking the test or when you're taking the questionnaire, is to really make sure you're taking it honestly. I think there might be a tendency to try to take it in a way that you're going to get the best results from the test. But I'd really recommend that you answer the questions honestly so you can get the most out of the report and that it's accurate for you. The second piece is that the report, it does seem simple. When you first download it, you'll see that it's just little chunks of information that's 3 pages long, and it seems so simple. And my concern is that you might glance over it and not realize just how important this information is. So really take the time to read it and think about it and reflect on the information that's there to make sure that you can get the most out of it for you.
So if you can answer it, as Ryan said, as honestly as you possibly can, then and don't worry about it. Don't overthink the answers. Just do it. What answer feels correct in the moment? That's all. That's all we're looking for, and that'll give you the best read on yourself. So really, that's great. Super.
Yeah, it's great that this is out there. So I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to going through the course. I can't wait to go through it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for calling in and taking the time. Super appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Blair.
And this is wiringthemind.com. I'm Blair Dunkley. Hope you guys all have a great day.